Alaska's Cook Inlet region is defined by the land and its people. Its immense beauty drew the region's first settlers, and its abundant resources sustained life and supported communities. The land still provides today.
There's one thing, no matter where we're from in our great state of Alaska or what our heritage is, there's one thing that ties us all together, and that is our land.
In March, a ceremony marked an historic occasion for the Cook Inlet region villages. 40 years after passage of the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act, SERI officially transferred more than 230,000 acres to the Cook Inlet Village corporations. After decades of litigation and disagreements, the signing marked the final land entitlements for the villages.
This has been a very arduous quest for 40 years, involving litigation, arbitration, and every other iteration that we could go through, but it happened. And we made it happen by the strength that we have as Native people.
The signing ceremony came a month after an intense day of land selections, each corporation staking out their claims to land in the Niskin Peninsula, Tuxidney Bay, and the Talkeetna Mountains.
The land selections day was a long day, and I appreciate everyone sticking out and being there to make the selections. We were a little punchy by the end of that day, longer than I think any of us expected it would take. And that being said, I think the actual selections, almost 40 years was longer than anyone thought it would take. I wasn't around for the original Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act and the selections originally, but I was around for this, and I was proud to be here.
Cook Inlet villages faced land selection complexities unlike any other region. Land ownership patterns around their traditional villages had already been established when ANCSA passed, forcing villages to make their selections elsewhere in the region. Now, with disputes resolved and title to their land, the villages begin the process of managing their lands to benefit their people.
What has happened over the last year, in particular what happened last month, is really a testament to the power of the Alaska Native people, the villages and the tribes in this region. And I think with this conveyance of your surface estate to the village corporations, this will empower you all to recognize the economic potential, to protect your heritage lands.
The village leaders acknowledged the event would not have been possible without the tireless efforts of many who came before.
This is absolutely huge for our village and all the villages and SERI involved. That said, I look forward to the future, and I think this is really huge and a chance for us to come together and economically thrive and support each other. And I know my dad that started years ago involved in this, Larry Skalk, would be very proud that this moment finally came to fruition.
Happy that happened while my father is still living. He told us that all we have is each other, and that's something that he conveys to his grandchildren. And he now has 4 great-grandchildren, so that's something that we are teaching them.
The one SERI village that did not participate in the selections was Eklutna. It had received all of its land in the original selections, but Eklutna attended and captured the significance of the event, speaking of a new era of cooperation among the region's villages and SERI, and the strength that comes from working together.
If there were 2 words, I would say is progress and change. And there's a famous quote I like to sometimes remind myself, that the art of progress is to preserve change amid order, and to preserve order amid change. I think we as a people have come a long way, and I think the next decade is going to be nothing but progress and change.
After 40 years, the villages of the Cook Inlet region are made whole, owning and managing their land to provide for their shareholders and generations to come.